This is a very exciting day, a day I've been waiting for a few years. My name is Don Thomas, and I wrote a book called the Lupus Encyclopedia. And today I came home from work, and a big box is waiting for me from Johns Hopkins University Press. So I feel like I am a kid at Christmas time. I'm about ready to open up my box, which hopefully contains my book. And I think it's very fitting I'm wearing purple today. Purple is the advocacy color to fight against lupus. So this is a perfect shirt to be wearing to work today. So now I'm going to open the box.
Drum roll, please.
That's my parrot Timmy in the background, who's excited also. And this is it, the Lupus Encyclopedia. And people can see why it took so long to publish and get printed. It's a very thick, very big book. And so just thinking back about my history of how this all started, I'm a rheumatologist in the suburbs of Maryland, suburbs of Washington, D.C., and August of 2009, almost 5 years ago, I get this phone call in the middle of a very busy day at work, incredibly busy, and the person on the other end of the line says, "Hi, my name is Jacqueline Wellmuller, and I'm the editor at Johns Hopkins University Press." I had no idea why she was calling. And then she asked me if I'd be interested in writing a book about lupus. She said that she had heard me give some talks for the Lupus Foundation. So I never thought about writing a book before. I love to educate patients, and I love to educate doctors about lupus and rheumatologic diseases. This was Johns Hopkins calling, so I said yes, and having no idea what I was getting myself into. Well, the first thing I did is I asked my patients what they would like to see in a lupus book, because I already felt that there were very good books out there, such as the Lupus book by Daniel Wallace, which is amazing. There's some very good nutrition books and so forth. And so I handed out a survey to all of my patients, and I said, what would you like to see in a book? And I got a lot of recommendations. My patients said that they wanted a book that's easy to understand, a book that's very comprehensive, that goes into detail about the problems that lupus can cause. They said that they need a book that gives them practical advice on things that they can do to help with their lupus, such as if they're very tired and fatigued, what can they do for their fatigue? If they can't sleep, what can they do for their sleep? If they're in pain, what can they do for their pain? They also asked for things about, such as how am I able to pay for my medications? If I'm not able to work anymore, how can I go about getting disability, and what are the best steps in getting that disability? If I want to become pregnant, what's the best way to become pregnant with lupus? And then the complications of lupus, they wanted to know more about how to fight the pain of fibromyalgia, or how to take care of the complication of Sjogren's syndrome that causes dryness. And I thought about it, and they were absolutely right and correct. They deserve to know all of those things and to have it written down in an easy to understand, comprehensive style, and this is the result. I really appreciate what my patients did, because they also posed for me, and let me see if I can find the photograph here. For example, this is one of my patients showing how she had lost a lot of her hair in the top photograph. Hair loss is a huge problem with lupus, and here the bottom photograph shows how she regained her hair growth really nicely after treatment. So I really appreciate my patients for posing for the photographs in this book as well. The index, I think, is a huge plus in this book. Most lupus books have very short, brief indexes that don't have very much, but all of this is the index way back here. And for example, if I look up fatigue or tiredness, let's see. And by the way, thanks to Johns Hopkins University Press for doing an amazing job. The editors and the people who who wrote the, helped me with the tables and did the diagrams, just did an amazing job in going through all this index for me. But for fatigue, I go into a lot of detail on several different pages on how to take care of fatigue. And so if you're tired and fatigued and that's a huge problem, it tells you exactly where to go in the book to find out what to do for it. And so I think that's a huge benefit of the book, is the index. So my editor, the first thing that she told me when she asked me to do this is, she said, you don't write a book like this to make money. You write a book like this because you love what you're doing and you're dedicated to educating people, and it's a work of love. And she's exactly right. This was a lot of work. It took me a few years of doing nothing on weekends and nights except writing it. And I really hope that people with lupus can find this helpful in controlling their disease, which I feel very strongly that they can. Just one thing is, I just thought it was interesting to look back at my contract. Before I even wrote this, they gave me a contract to sign, and in this contract it said I was allowed to have 140,000 words. If Jacqueline Wellmuller is watching this, who's my editor, she's probably going to be flabbergasted to know that I actually had 180,000 words. I was allowed to have 18 black and white line drawings. I ended up having 36 black and white line drawings, so twice as much. 14 photographs from my patients. Thank you so much to them for educating other people about lupus. And I was allowed to have 20 tables. Well, Johns Hopkins didn't realize how complex lupus is. I ended up with 170 tables. I just want to say thank you very much to the editors, Jacqueline Wellmuller. I know it took you guys a lot more work than you thought it was going to be, because it really took a lot of editing to make sure all of this was correct, so I really appreciate it.
Illustrator.
And my illustrator was amazing, by the way. People who want to know about what the immunology part about lupus and how difficult it is and why lupus attacks the body, the illustrator, she just did just an amazing job in helping to make things more easy to understand. I wish I could find one right away, but there's a whole lot of them in here. So anyways, I hope that you'll consider buying my book if you have lupus, or getting it for a loved one who's suffering from lupus. I do strongly recommend getting it at a discount. Amazon.com is giving it for 33% off, which is great. Amazon.com in Canada is 40% off, I believe. And people who are not connected to the internet, you can actually call this phone number. This is directly to Johns Hopkins University Press, 1-800-537-5487. And then make sure to use this code, because this will get you 30% off. This is a special code they let me use to let people that I know get money off, because we'll get less money, but I really want a lot of people to get this book. So I really hope you find this helpful. One other thing is, I do expect to do a revision of the book, and I really want to make it even better. And so please give me comments and feedback. Tell me what's missing from the book that you want to see in the revision. If there's anything in here incorrect that you should be differently, let me know. In the preface of the book, I put down my email address, and you can send me an email with your recommendations, and my Facebook page at facebook.com Lupus Encyclopedia. You can let me know also. So please, this is your book as a person suffering from lupus, and I want to make it the best book that you can use to fight and control lupus instead of letting lupus control you. Thank you so much for everyone's support.